Hi guys, it's Amanda from Reverie Beauty. I am going to talk to you today about gua sha do's and don'ts, okay? So you have your stone. I want to talk a little bit on how you're going to care for your stone. This is a fragile tool. If you were to drop it on a hard surface, it could shatter. So be very mindful and careful when handling it. When you're washing it, we recommend soap and water, but we also want you to be mindful that it gets slippery. So lay a towel in the sink basin and then you could wash with soap and water. That way, if this falls or slips out of your hand, it's not gonna break in half or chip or anything like that, okay? So I have my notes over here I'm going to be glancing at because I don't wanna miss any points when it comes to the do's and don'ts of gua sha, okay? So let's start with, how do you use this stone? And is it important to keep in mind how you're holding it, which way you're gliding it across the skin? And yes, the answer is very, very much so. So when you are using this tool across your skin, be mindful that you are gonna start from the midline and work out generally, okay? We want to clear toxins and let them drain sufficiently. Doing this way, moving them in, that's just gonna push fluid back into your face. So a lot of the puffiness we see in our face is lymph fluid and toxic buildup that we want to clear away. So always work from the midline out so it can drain appropriately, okay? When you are holding the stone, couple tips on how to hold it. Now, you do not want to push. Okay, you can see that, how that looks. So that's pushing. I recommend you see how my thumb is holding the tool here. You're gonna flip it. You're gonna make sure that that thumb is tucked underneath between your cheek and the stone, but not touching your face. So that you get this nice 30 to 45 degree angle. And you're gonna anchor with your the hand that's not holding the tool, and you are just gonna glide. So you can see how different that looks. This over time is going to stretch and damage your skin. Doing this nice glide is going to ensure that we are pulling those toxins away from the face while also lifting, contouring, and improving the texture of the skin. So some other tips to make sure that you are holding this right. If you are pushing, look how my elbow is tucked in, okay? See that? My elbow's tucked in, I'm pushing the stone out. If you are holding the stone right, your arm is kind of at some weird, awkward angles, okay? So think of it like your elbow is coming up and out, okay? See the difference between that? This is wrong. This is a don't. This is the do. Okay, so elbow tucked in is pushing. Elbow out to the side is the nice glide that we want. Okay, so those are really important tips for using the stone. I always recommend, if you are going to start incorporating this ritual, that you want to start at the base of your neck. So this is like step one of your gua sha ritual. You do want to do this every time, okay? So you are going to start at the base of your neck. I like to take the U edge from the geolineal stone and work it up to the base of the skull and give it a little wiggle here, okay? And you can do that about 5 to 10 times. This is going to help open up the channels so that your lymph can drain appropriately. Very important. That's why we're doing this. So always start this. The don't in this is don't skip it. Okay. And then you're going to come off to the side and open up those channels too. Okay. And then after you've opened them up, you'll come in and start doing your neck work down. Okay. The next thing, if you are pregnant, even if you're planning to get pregnant, avoid these areas. So the first one is this area right here. Don't go over that. And then the second is on the top of your shoulder, about halfway point between the base of your neck and the outer portion of your shoulder. You don't want to push down on this area here, okay? This area has a downward effect in our bodies. We want to keep baby up and in, okay? So just avoid those areas if you're pregnant. Now, the other do's and don'ts is Botox. Let's talk about Botox and fillers. If you have Botox and fillers, you can still use gua sha, absolutely. But be mindful, you do not want to go over fresh Botox, and I would say active Botox, and here's why. So if you have fresh Botox, let's just say, you know, I'm not super familiar with the placement of injections, but let's just say if you got Botox in the eyebrow area and you were to take the stone a couple days later and go over it, and that Botox hasn't completely settled in, you could actually disperse the Botox. It could cause some paralyzation and a droopy eye, okay? So you don't want to go around like that for a few months until that Botox metabolizes and goes away. So rule of thumb, if you have had fresh Botox within the first 2 weeks, you don't want to go over it at all. After the 2 weeks, technically you can go over that Botox, but keep in mind that the tool is going to help break down and metabolize the Botox faster. I'm assuming if you're getting Botox, you want it there for a reason, whether it's, you know, fine lines and wrinkles or lifting or whatever. But the stone is going to help to metabolize that quicker, because technically Botox is a neurotoxin, and we would be helping to push that away and clearing it through the lymphatic system. So just be mindful of that. Let's say you got Botox in the forehead. That doesn't mean you can't do Botox in your jaw area, under eyes, and get a lot of clearing and lymphatic drainage and lifting and contouring benefits for the rest of your face. You're just not going to go over those areas of Botox. You can, when it gets closer to, like, you know, when you're due for your next Botox, start going over it. You really can go over it after that 2-week period. It's just going to metabolize it quicker. So be aware of that. Same with fillers. You don't want to go over fillers because that could displace the filler itself. If you have acne, this is a really good ritual to start practicing, because acne blemishes are toxins coming out through our skin. This is going to help to clear those toxins away from our face. But let's say you have an active acne blemish here. You don't want to glide this tool right over it, okay? So you are going to either go around it, or you just do a little speed bump over it, okay? But this is really great for acne, so don't let that deter you. Definitely start using it. The other do or don't would be blood thinners. If you are taking blood thinners, you really don't want to use a ton of pressure because we don't want your skin to bruise. So start with lighter pressure, see how your skin does, and as needed, you can increase the pressure. But if you are on some pretty hefty blood thinners, gua sha may not be the best practice for you, but give it a try and see. The goal is to never bruise the skin when we're working on the face, neck, and chest, shoulders, okay? Do's and don'ts as far as pressure goes. The neck, these are some pretty big muscles, so you can use some pretty heavy pressure here. When it comes to the front of the neck, a little bit lighter, so medium pressure. You can do medium pressure along the jaw and the face. When you get to the forehead, this is like medium light pressure. Under eye and lips are the thinnest areas of our body, so do not do heavy pressure in those areas. I sometimes overdo it on my lips because I like to work them out. I'm trying to iron out those wrinkles, but be mindful, this is a thin area, so don't use too heavy pressure. The under eye area, this is it's like the thinnest skin on our body, so we want to use very light pressure there, okay? This looks like I'm probably using a lot more pressure than I am, so just be mindful you don't want to damage that delicate skin area under the eye. Let's see. I'm going to take a quick peek at my notes, make sure I haven't missed anything. It is really important that you're drinking water before you do your gua sha ritual. Having that hydration in your lymphatic system is going to help to clear the toxins away. Otherwise, they just kind of get stagnant and stuck. So hydrate before and continue hydrating after. I also recommend a detox bath after, so you can get some Epsom salts. You can even add some essential oils that help with detox and soak in that for a little bit, especially if you're coming off of a gua sha facial. But it also helps to do that with your home care routine. Just checking here, making sure I got all of those points for you. You know what? I think that's it. I think we covered everything. So those are the basics of do's and don'ts of gua sha. I want to tell you, for your home care use, the most important thing that I want to reiterate is the angle of the tool. The other thing I see a lot is this 90-degree angle. Okay, this is not going to give you as many benefits, okay? So you don't want to come and do this. That's like pushing your skin. That's like coming at it this way. That's gonna feel like your skin is being pushed and stretched more than it should be, okay? You want that gentle glide, okay? The anchor, and you might think that, oh, well, Amanda, you're stretching your skin this way. This is not, this is like a gentle stretch to help smooth out fine lines and wrinkles and making sure that we're picking up those toxins like a magnet to the stone as we glide across the skin. And try it on yourself. You'll feel the difference between this and this. This doesn't feel good. This push doesn't feel good, but this is super relaxing and you'll get into a groove, and afterwards you're gonna feel so relaxed and just kind of like in a euphoric type state. So that's like the most important takeaway I want you to take from this. You're not coming at a 90-degree angle. You are coming at this 35 to 45-degree angle. And if it helps to remind you, keep the elbow out, okay? And you're always anchoring with that non-dominant hand, except for when you are lifting. So after you've gone through and you've done like all of your like clearing work, you can come in and lift everything up, okay? This is going to help contour and lift the skin and all of that tissue to just lift up. But you can see my elbow is still coming out and away from my side, right? You can see that. But that's the only time that you're not really anchoring, is when you're coming in at the end and doing all of the lifting. So that's another do and don't. Don't lift first. Do all of your clearing work. Come in and lift at the end, okay? That's it. As always, if you have questions, you can find me at Reverie Beauty Reno on Instagram. Email amanda@reveriebeauty.me. And I am always happy to answer questions. I am always happy to do a virtual consult with you to ensure that you're doing this correctly, because I care that you're doing it the right way so you can get the most beneficial results, as I know Erin does too. So I am so excited if you have gotten your geolineal stones, and I hope you are enjoying these fun tutorials. I enjoy doing them for you. And until next time, I will see you then. Okay? Bye.